guys, Nerdy Perkins here, doing a discussion on Zou with one of my very best friends, Nick the Wildman Hahn. Go ahead and say hi, Nick.
Hi!
So, yeah, we're just gonna talk about Zou. We might get into some predictions and stuff on what's gonna happen possibly in Whole Cake Island in Wano, but it's mostly gonna be a Zou-focused discussion. So I figured we get started, Nick, just talking about Zou itself as the island. Now,
Elephant creature man thing, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts, like, before we got to Zou as to what it was gonna be? Like,
well, we saw, like, the meanwhile of, Sanji and everyone else being followed by animal people.
Yeah, definitely.
It was in a tropical environment, so I figured, oh, okay, tropical environment. I don't think we've seen one of those, so that'll be cool. Doesn't seem too standoffish or, like, seems like regular island, you know.
Yeah. I definitely had the feeling, even before we kind of got that little flashback, that the minks were maybe going to show up on the island, just because the name Zou in Japanese does mean zoo. It also translates to elephant as well, so that's why it was kind of like, oh, that does make sense that it's a giant elephant. But yeah, I also thought it might have like a lot of exotic animals on it, like the whole like the Strong World stuff,
or the giant island.
Yeah, little garden. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. But yeah, that was just kind of basic thoughts on that. Now I just want to talk a little bit about the possible history of Zou, because we did learn that it's over 1,000 years old. It did live through the Void Century. So, like, what do you think of that? Like, we may find out something about the Void Century from it.
Well, if Zou itself is 1,000 years old, I'm just curious what it was doing during the Void Century, or maybe, like, it's so big as a result of the Void Century.
That's a good point.
That's just, like, an entire mystery in of it itself, which just adds to the whole century of not knowing anything.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one. My other thought, and this kind of comes from something that the One Piece podcast was talking about I don't know when, it was a couple weeks ago or so. But thinking about the idea that there may be more giant, like, creatures roaming the sea, like above.
With Sea Kings and
well, because we have the Sea Kings, but we have this giant thing that's walking, like, we'll get into kind of like what might be going on with the legs in a second here. But I'm just thinking, like, could it have any, like, could that be what those things in the Florian Triangle are that were revealed at the end of Thriller Bark?
Oh.
Like, I've heard a couple people theorizing that... Yeah, I've heard people theorizing that those could be a herd of Zou-like creatures. Could be just even just... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's one of those mysteries that's just like, are we gonna figure that out? Are we ever gonna go back to that? Or is that just Oda being like, yes, they're all strange mysteries in this world?
Mysteries that I don't have to write.
Yeah, exactly. My other thoughts were, do you think it just roams around the New World? Like, is that its, like, wheelhouse? Or do you think it goes, like, into the adjacent blues as well?
I think it has, like, a territory, because otherwise I think Zou would have been more known as a giant elephant that roams around everywhere. So it has a confined living area. Yeah,
I was thinking it may stay pretty close to Wano because of there is that close relationship, which
between the minks and the Wano, exactly.
Yeah, which was probably built over time, so maybe it stays in that area, but I don't know. It's very interesting. The next thing I wanted to talk about real quick was just what type of inspiration Oda was drawing upon for it. Definitely think that I think it's Dolly that had the elephants with the super, super long legs. I don't know if you've seen that picture, but I think that's definitely some inspiration for it, would be my thought. Which brings me back to the legs. Do you think this thing just has, like, legs that reach all the way down to the seafloor?
I would like to think that it's actually just like swimming, like it has its whole legs and then its feet are literally just like paddling, like little dog paddles, like.
That's really good. That would be humorous.
Its legs entirely too.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. My other thought was, I think he probably got some inspiration from, because I've seen this in a couple, like, some pop culture and just in some, like, ancient legends of the, like, world tortoise or world turtle. I don't know what, but basically the turtle.
It's either or.
But the turtle with, like, a city on its back. And I think that in some societies that it's depicted as being carried on the backs of elephants. So that's an interesting connection. May not have anything to do with it, but thought that was interesting.
Either, like, a giant turtle being carried by 4 elephants.
Yes.
Or 4 elephants being carried by a giant turtle. Right now, it's one of those two.
Well, maybe this elephant is just being carried by 4 giant turtles, so it would have just flipped it on its head.
Well, total reversal, yeah.
That would be interesting. I think that about covers kind of talking about Zou itself. I wanted to talk a little bit about the minks. So I think a lot of people have assumed that the minks are very much like animal versions of the fishmen. It seems to be specifically mammals. We don't seem to be seeing any like reptiles, or anything like that.
Like in Zootopia rules.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what's your favorite design so far of the minks that you've seen?
It's just adorable.
Who?
Carrot, the bunny girl.
I agree. I was saying I really, really, really like Cat Viper. The cat mink.
Yeah.
He is just like him attacking Jack and just flipping him with the trunk, just awesome. And he's hilarious in the bathtub scene where he's eating the lasagna while soaking in a bath, and Chopper's like, "Don't do that."
You're not supposed to put a spoon there.
Oh yeah, that was just like, oh dear lord.
Oh, and Beppo, I'm finally glad we know what he is, because when he was first introduced, I'm like, so did he eat his own, and he just stays that way, or what? What are we doing, Beppo? But now he's a bear. It's a bear mink.
Yeah, I was definitely on board, because I think a lot of people were theorizing that Beppo was going to be, was a mink. Because he's introduced in the same arc that we learn of the word and of the race of mink.
Okay.
It's on that, list.
At the time, I was reading, a really bad translation, so I just completely glossed over that.
Yeah, that'll happen. That happens. Yeah, I also, design-wise, really, really like the Musketeers. I think they're all 3 of them pretty cool. If I recall, because I know there's the fox one, and there's the lion one who seems to be the leader.
And then the monkey dude.
Was it a monkey? Okay.
I think so. At least when I looked it up just now, they're all 3 in black and fancy hats.
Yeah, I think there's the 3 Musketeers, and then I think there's a whole group of, underling Musketeers as well.
Right.
I think,
3 main,
if I recall correctly.
Their squad.
Yeah. Yeah, the next thing was, so the minks seem to have some sort of electric abilities. Not like NL where they're made of electric or anything like that, but it's just they...
Like they can discharge attacks.
Yes.
They use Thunderbolt in their normal type Pokemon, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, now, I think I told you the other day, my best guess is that it's a buildup of static with their fur.
Because, Oda uses scientific stuff like that that's a little made-up-y, but also... You can kind of base this on science.
Yeah. I know the One Piece podcast theorized, I think in their last podcast, that it's a new form of dial, possibly, that they have on the island, on Zou. I don't know. I thought... Go ahead.
Exotic Island does have their own fancy technology.
Yeah. But it seems like it comes straight from, the minks themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was taking these notes, I had a thought. What if it's something to do with the fact that they're living on a living being? Like maybe since it's so big, they can actually like channel like some kind of some kind of electricity from itself. I don't know. That's pretty far fetched, but it's just an idea that I had.
No, I could see it. Let living beings living on a living being, like what kind of repercussions that gives you. I see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's probably the static thing. Now, if it is, do you think Chopper will be able to learn it?
Wait. Oh, Chopper. I thought you said Chakra. I'm like, who's Chakra? Chopper, I'm surprised, hasn't learned it already, but if he can, he definitely will.
Yeah, I think that it really give him a nice, like, boost in his attacks, I think.
Oh, so he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right! You're right, that's so awesome! What was I gonna say? My problem, the thing with that is, it seems like he's with the Whole Cake Island group, so he may not be spending too much time with the minks. So,
he was there previously, though, and we haven't seen Chopper really do anything since then, so I think he might have learned it.
Yeah, that's true. And it's only the I think it's only the Dressrosa crew who joins in that seems seems to be surprised by it. And we haven't really heard whether Chopper may have learned it while he was there. So you're right. Maybe he'll like show that off later on. But yeah. Next thing, the history of the minks in the Kozuki. I think it's Kozuki. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Pardon me if I'm not. The Kozuki clan.
The tribe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. It seems like they're bound to specifically Momo's clan, not Wano in itself.
Oh, that's true. And then Wano's clan is the emperorship. The shogun, not the shogunate, because the shogunate's what is controlling it now. But
yes. Yeah. It seems like they are. It's split up into dukedoms, because I think they call them the Duke. If I recall correctly, I might be wrong. That might be a bad translation or something. But it seems like there's multiple people who are kind of run the show underneath the shogun himself. Yeah, and I was thinking, now, Cat Viper specifically says that they have been as family for longer than he cares to say. So they don't really give a specific as to how long. My guess is it goes on past Cat Viper and Dog Storm's generation.
Longer than I care to say usually implies a pretty long time.
Yeah. My first thought for it would be could it have formed after the Void Century to possibly protect the minks from slavers? Because we do know that they are sold as slaves, at least in Sabaody.
The Wanos, though, tell me if I'm wrong, but they're the ones who've written some of the road poneglyphs, though, haven't they?
From what we've heard so far, I think it's specifically the Kozuki clan, Momo's clan.
I keep doing that, yeah.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. They're the ones who are specifically the stonemasons that created, from what we can tell, all the poneglyphs.
I would argue then it goes at least through the Void Century, because no one knows how to read those after the Void Century, but before then they did.
Yeah. I think we'll get to the poneglyph stuff in a little bit here. And we might need to split this up into multiple parts, just because I think we've been going for about 15 minutes, and I think I might only be able to do 15-minute videos at the moment.
Yes.
If we do, then sorry guys, this will be broken up. So that was the end of part 1. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video, and Stay tuned for more parts. We recorded enough that there's probably going to be at least 4 videos, would be my guess, depending on how we break it up. But yeah, so stay tuned, and until next time, stay nerdy.